Hi, I'm Riona O'Neill.
And I'm Lauren Baxter, and we're both 8th grade members of HMS Student Council.
March is Women's History Month, and we are celebrating by focusing on the lives of some great women in history, ones that may not get as much recognition for their accomplishments as they should.
To make it more fun, we have turned our study into a March Madness tournament. We will present the stories of 2 great women to 3 HMS faculty members. It's our turn to play the teachers, and we hope that we will teach them something. Then the faculty members will discuss and vote on which of the 2 women will move forward to the second round.
We would like to welcome 3 of our 8th grade teachers, Ms. Kotzicles, Mrs. Eppolito, and Mr. Kelly.
So it's time to get started with our first match of the first round in the Rosa Parks bracket. Riona, you're up first.
Gertrude Benhan exemplifies what it means to be fearless and adventurous. She was an intrepid mountaineer, hiker, and explorer. Climbing more than 300 peaks in her lifetime, Gertrude claims that she did so to satisfy a spirit of wanderlust that has entered my soul. She was born in 1867, the youngest of 6 children, and began climbing as a young girl, sparking her thrill for climbing and love of the outdoors. Benhan took care of her parents until she was 36, but when her father died in 1891 and her mother in 1903, she decided to satisfy her urge to travel the world. She went on to climb mountains on almost every continent, traveling to places on foot, such as Chile, Argentina, Kenya, and South Africa. Gertrude was known for being self-sufficient, financing her trips with a budget of about £250 a year, equivalent to about $350 today. Benham once told the Daily News, "I am never lonely. How can I be when there is so much to see and admire in the world?" She passed away in 1838 for reasons unknown, but left behind an inspiring legacy to women and explorers all around.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys can talk about that if you want.
Oh.
Or I can just go into mine too.
Debbie, do you want? I love explorers. She sounds fascinating to me. I like independent women who like to travel. So that's really cool.
That's exactly what I was going to say. She seems she is super independent and just kind of taking the world in her own hands and going out and seeing things and doing things. So I love that.
Riona, I have a very important question for you. Who do you think Gertrude's favorite 8th grade math teacher would be? No answer.
That was dead silence. That's dead silence.
That's the answer.
I actually have a question for you too. On her travels, did she encounter any different cultures, or did she I don't want to say attach herself to different groups of people, but you said she traveled on foot to so many different countries, across all continents. Did she find one group of people more hospitable, or is there anything out there about her and in her interactions with people around the world?
Yeah, I don't think she stuck with a specific group because she wandered all over the world going.
Oh darn!
Yeah, we keep losing you.
I know your internet, your audio keeps going in and out.
Okay, if you guys don't have anything else to say, I think I'm going to go into.
Go for it, Lauren.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm sure you know of Paul Revere, but have you heard that Sybill Ludington was only 16 years old when she accomplished the same thing? On April 26, 1777, Colonel Ludington, Sybill's father, received word that Danbury, a nearby town, was under British attack and needed help. With no available soldiers in sight, Sybill Ludington rose to the challenge. She rode all through the night, alerting the colonel's men, urging them to aid in battle. Historians estimate that she rode nearly 40 miles, more than twice what Paul Revere had ridden, rallied hundreds of Patriot soldiers, and even fought off a highwayman with her father's musket on the way. The militia caught up with the retreating British, too late to stop the attack, but not too late to make them pay dearly. Alexander Hamilton wrote to Colonel Ludington, "I congratulate you on the Danbury expedition. The stores destroyed have been purchased at a pretty high price to the enemy." Sybill was praised personally by both General Washington and General Rochambeau and was honored on a stamp from the U.S. Postal Service in 1975. Today, you can visit a statue of her in Carmel, New York, and follow the historical markers tracing the route of her ride through Putnam County.
She smoked Paul Revere.
Seriously.
Okay,
Who's Paul
teachers.
Revere?
Okay, teachers, it's time to debate.
All right, teachers, what do we think? So we're voting on who's the cool, like who was more remarkable or who was the coolest or who should move on. So, what do you guys think?
Tough.
It's a tough call. Because I feel like on the one hand, you have someone who is so notable, like within our country's history. Sybill, am I saying her name right? Yeah, like in our historical background, like that's pretty significant.
Sure.
And not talked about enough. So,
exactly. I was just gonna say
that would be important to then highlight as it moves forward. But I also really admire a woman who was in such a time being able to finance herself and become so independent. So
I know, and for those reasons, Ms. Colts-Cleese, I think I'm leaning more towards Gertrude for those reasons. I think there's multiple traits in there that I can kind of like connect to and relate to and would love to see other women to aspire to as well. Not to say that the other woman wasn't incredible and did great things, but sounds like Gertrude was more of a full package that we can kind of like look up to and inspire to.
And I like that Gertrude's was like a lifetime, and Sybill's was more of an occasion.
moment in time.
And that's what made me lean a little bit towards Gertrude as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm actually in agreement with everything you said. So
Oh.
I think Gertrude's our winner.
I was gonna say, not much of a debate. We all agreed.
Okay, so it looks like Gertrude will be moving on to the next round.
Go Gertrude.
Who's going to be up
Thanks
against?
to Mrs. Colts-Cleese, Mrs. Eppolito, and Mr. Kelly for joining us. We hope you'll tune into our next video and learn more about some great women in history.
Thank you.
Thank
you for
you.
the information session.